So now we are in specialized process models. In this specialized process models, we have finished the first one, that is component based development model. Okay, it is finished just now, and now we are going to see the second one, the formal method model, and also third one, aspect oriented software development model. Okay, so coming to the first one, the formal method model. So what is a formal method model? Why are we call this method as a specialized process model? Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this model? Now we'll discuss in today's class. Clear? So see the first point here, the formal model method. It is a technique and tools based on mathematics and formal logics. So this method is used some mathematical functions and some logical functions to develop some software systems or software projects. Okay, some software projects whichever we are we are developing, so those may need some mathematical, okay, formulas, otherwise some logical formulas in real time. If you want to implement these mathematical formulas into your software, okay, then such kinds of softwares or projects may follow the, okay, formal methods process models, may follow the approaches of formal methods. Okay, these methods, these formal methods may be included with any conventional process models. Okay, so whichever model is needed by your system, by following that approach, okay, apart from that, if you include these mathematical functions or mathematical equations into that particular project or into that particular approach, okay, then such projects are called a formal method systems. Clear? See the second point, the formal method model encompasses a set of activities. It has some set of activities that leads to formal mathematical specification of our computer software. So wherever we need, okay, some mathematical functions into our project, those mathematical functions have some set of activities to perform. Okay, to finish off some functions, to finish off some jobs, compulsory there is a need of some mathematical functions, isn't it? Clear? For example, if we have developed one project, okay, that project may have not we are going to develop. Suppose if we will see reservation, if we will go for some reservation of bus tickets, okay, in that, whenever we will enter the, okay, we will enter the number of passengers, okay, number of passengers list into that a particular online system, then automatically it will calculate the amount and it will show you in front of you, isn't it? If you want to reserve the tickets for 2 members or for 3 members or for four members, okay, some online applications may give automatically, they'll calculate the, okay, amount, how much for a single passenger. If 5 passengers are traveled into this, 5 passengers are booked this particular reservation, going for reservation, so what is the total cost, and it will display into your onto the screen. itself. Okay, so there is at that place we are in need of some mathematical calculations, isn't it? So for such kind of projects where mandatorily there is a need of, okay, this kind of mathematical functions. Okay, otherwise if you want to book some movie tickets, if you want to book some movie tickets, okay, for single person it may be a 100 rupees. If we will choose the four persons, choose the choose the seats for four persons, so automatically it will give the 400 rupees amount, and it will ask for whether you are going to proceed to pay this amount or not. Even though not only the 400, it will add some tax amount also, some GST, I mean state tax and central tax, okay, some other additional charges and other internet charges, internet fees. It will add some amount to your 400 rupees. It may be overall 435 rupees or 445 rupees for booking of four tickets. If you want to book four tickets, okay, for one movie, so in now if we will go directly and if we will book the tickets from the hall itself, means they'll take only 400 rupees, isn't it? But if you want to book those four tickets through the online, okay, okay, through the third parties, so they'll charge some extra amount to your, I mean, booking. So how they will add? They'll charge as usual same common amount of 400 rupees. Apart from that, they'll add some tax amount to your tickets, and also some additional charges, internal charges, internet charges, etc. And they'll display the total amount. Some 435 you should pay for this booking of four tickets for this movie. Like that, it will show. It will show. If you want to, if you will accept to pay the 35 rupees also extra amount also, will put, click on that proceed to pay amount, and through online banking systems or through debit card or credit card will pay that amount, then we'll book the system, I mean book the tickets for a movie. Okay, so like that we will do. So at that places calculation of the total number of based on the persons, okay, based on the persons, number of persons, and based on the what ranges of the tickets. Okay, some halls may have each ticket 125 rupees, some halls may have each ticket to 150 rupees. Okay, if you will go for what golden seats or something, it may charge 200 250. Okay, that is different to a move, I mean theater to theater. Okay, so there is a classes in based on the there is different classes are there for each and every theater. So based on that classes, the charges may be, okay, changed. Okay, so based on the charges of that class, whichever class we are going to book, okay, first of all it will consider the class, and it will consider the persons, and after that it will add the CST, I mean central tax and state tax. After that, some internet charges. So it will take these five. Okay, take these five things into consideration, and it will calculate internally, and it will show the amount to a customer, how much he needs to pay for, okay, booking a movie ticket. So at that time there is a function need in that application. What is the function? Some mathematical functions are needed or included, okay, to complete that particular process of online movie ticket booking, isn't it? So for such a cases, here we are going to read this what formal methods of software development. Clear? So coming to third point, formal methods enable a software engineer to specify, develop and verify a computer-based system by applying rigorous and mathematical notification. when there is a need of some mathematical functions in your applications, software applications. Okay, there is okay, need of mathematical functions in your software applications, then you must use. Okay, then by using these mathematical functions only, you can execute your software. You should develop your software project. Okay, nowadays in real time also there are many projects. Okay, I mean whatever I have discussed now, booking a ticket, I mean a movie ticket and train ticket and bus tickets, these are a small applications. Okay, with small mathematical functions. But some other applications also available, some big tasks with big tasks. Okay, right. Coming to fourth point, when formal methods are used during design, they serve as a basis for program verification and therefore enable software engineer to discover correct errors that might to go undetected. Some of the mathematical functions are used to discover and correct errors. So which are undetected in our project. Okay, based on some calculations itself, we need to find some errors on that particular project. By applying some formulas, easily we can estimate or easily we can detect some kind of errors in our software, whichever we are developing. Okay, that much of importance is there for maths in a software engineering also. Clear? Okay, coming to the next slide. This slide is about why we use this mathematical functions. The first one is the development of formal specifications provide insights and understanding of software requirements and software design. Okay, so whenever we are going to develop a software project, now we are going to understand the requirements and designs of the software and including the below steps. Those are, coming to the first one, clarify customer requirements. Okay, these are used, these formal methods are used to clarify the customer requirements. How many number of customer requirements are there, whether all are okay executing properly, all are following properly or not, those are implemented in that particular system properly or not, like that. Okay, it will clarify everything. I mean we have already discussed some, it will detect some errors too in that particular project. Coming to the second point, it will reveal and remove ambiguity, inconsistency, and incompleteness. Okay, it will reveal, showing to us, and it will remove some ambiguous and inconsistency and incompleteness. Okay, some functions may be incomplete functions will be occur while developing a project, whether it is completed or not. Okay, if it is developed for a particular purpose, it is fulfilling that particular purpose or not, it is giving okay complete results to that or not. And consistency, completeness, in the sense both are little bit same. Okay, it will be filled with all the requirements whatever that needs, and also as well as it will fill and also it will leave any kind of things. Okay, those are giving correct results or not. Sometimes if you develop one project for one purpose, it may give some other results, it may give default results, it may give error results. Okay, while executing some programs, C programs or C, any programming language, you may get, if you executed of that program for one purpose, it will give some other kind of results to you, which means it will give some default values or it will give some error values. Okay, like that. How it will be happened? Because of that functions are not ended properly. Okay, that function may be not ended properly, or that function doesn't allow any kind of values, then it will give the default values. It wants some inputs from your program. So like that, there are different problems. Okay, maybe there, those may be a, okay, from user input problems. User may forgot to enter, or user may forgot to close that particular module or a particular function or a program properly, then okay, it will give some wrong results, isn't it? So whenever we are going to type some programs, that program, first of all we should check that programs are all having how many, it is equal to the number of opening brackets are equal to number of closing braces or not. Okay, and also that it will take the input or not, or otherwise it will use the old input. So if you want to initialize somewhere values with 0, okay, you must initialize some variables with 0. So those values are not initialized with the 0, then you may get some wrong values while executing those programs, wrong values. Otherwise by default values, old values it will hold, and it will execute the programs, isn't it? So such kinds of problems may occur while executing or while developing some functions of a project. So that functions should be a clear and correct. Those are completed or not. Those are giving correct exact results or not. Okay, like that each and everything should be check it out. And is there any repetitions in that program or not? So for checking of that one here, these will help. Not for all cases, for few cases, these formal methods may help. Clear? And coming to the third point, facilitate communication of requirements on or design. So it will provide some communication between requirements gathering or some design, doing a design of that particular software. Okay, coming to fourth point, it provides a basis for an elegant software design. Okay, it may be a foundation for some other software designs. It will create some foundation. And also it is traceable one. Traceability means while working with one system, okay, it is going where it is growing in proper way or not, it is deviated from that particular way or not. For checking of that one, we need to trace out while developing a project. This is called one kind of monitoring. For such a cases, this formal methods may used. Clear? And if we'll go move for next slide, that is advantages and disadvantages of formal methods. It doesn't have any, actually this the formal methods concept doesn't have any diagram to you. Why? Because these are the mathematical and logical functions, which may be include any conventional or classical software engineering, okay, process models. You may include these, okay, formulas or mathematics functions too. Okay, any one of the existing, okay, process models. So that's why it doesn't have any separator or diagram itself. Okay, if you'll see that advantages of these formal methods, first one is it can be foundation for any designing safety critical system. Okay, so any kind of, okay, it is a, okay, see the first point, it is a foundation for designing of safety critical systems. If you want to design any critical systems with the safety measures, then we are going for this one. And second one, it will be provided describing complex systems. What are the complex systems are there? So description of that, it will describe easily, okay, by following some formulas, okay, we can easily execute such kind of complex systems in real environment. Coming to third point, it provides support for program development. It provides support for program development. So these are the other advantages for formal methods. Coming to disadvantages. Okay, see the first disadvantage, it will a time consuming process. Time consuming and also expensive one. Okay, we are going to develop, we are each and every time we are going to monitor the particular system by using some mathematical calculations, means it will take some time, and also it will need some, I mean, whenever the time is wasted, automatically it is directly proportional to cost itself, isn't it? So uh, by executing or by developing one software project, okay, with some these mathematical functions or mathematical formulas, if that is necessary to at the place of some functions, it's okay. But if you want to evaluate, or if you want to assess your total project by using some these mathematical kind of approaches or some logical approaches, it may take time to evaluate that one. It may take time to assess, analysis, study such kind of projects. Okay, so that is a time consuming process, one of the disadvantages of this method. Coming to second one, difficult to use this model as a communication mechanism for non-technical personnel. So somebody doesn't know about this logics or formulas whichever we have used to develop these softwares, then for such kind of people it is little difficult to understand, isn't it? So that is the second one. Coming to third one, there is a extensive training is need for some developers. Okay, all are doesn't have, I mean, doesn't maybe a expert persons in some mathematical things. Okay, somebody needs to learn these mathematical approaches to develop a softwares. By using these mathematical approaches things, how do we develop some software projects? So for that also there is a need of some training, okay, for developers to improve their knowledge of the development of a particular project, isn't it? So this is a another disadvantage. If they are the trained people, then they'll develop easily by inculcating or including these mathematical functions, mathematical formulas into your project. If those are unfamiliar, unknown people, means it's a little difficult to them, isn't it? So this is about formal methods of specialized process models. Okay, so what we have learned in this concept? In this concept, so first of all, we have learned what is a formal method. Okay, it is just mathematical or logical functions which are used to develop our software projects. Some software projects need mathematical functions, okay, to complete the software, clear, to complete the project or to fulfill the requirements of a business. And after that, what is the need, why we use these formal methods? So there are different advantages are there for using of these formal methods, we have discussed this, and also advantages and a few disadvantages of these formal methods. Up to now we have finished off formal methods concept. Next we will move to the aspect oriented software development. Okay, this is the third one for specialized process models. So what is the aspect here? Aspect in the sense, it is a one what we call it as one view or one method. Okay, some one objective which is from coming from a customer. So based on this aspect, Okay, we are going to develop a software. If aspect in the sense some customer has some their own thoughts or own views to develop that project. Okay, what are the thoughts they have towards our project? Okay, they are asking for something. They want more security in that project. Okay, customer needs more security of that project, whatever we are going to develop. Okay, which one they are ordered to develop us. And also they are asked for, okay, time. Okay, I want to this project within 30 days or within 60 days or within 100 days, like that. Okay, he may put some conditions on time and also on some budget also. He asked for some cross cutting or budgeting things. Okay, actually, this aspect oriented software development is purely based on cross cuttings, okay, of budget or something. Okay, this kind of projects development based on a customer requirements. Okay, I mean, not every project is based on some customer requirements itself, but here there is a some special requests for special requests by a customer. Okay, aspect orientation means some special requests by a customer. Based on those requirements only we are going to develop our project. Such kinds of projects are called aspect oriented software projects. Aspect oriented softwares. Clear? If you see the first point, aspect oriented software development referred to as aspect oriented programming. So our programming usually use purely based on the, okay, requirements or special requests of a customer. That is called aspect oriented. That is called aspect orientation. So this is a it is relatively new software engineering paradigm, okay, that provides a process and methodological approaches for defining, specifying, designing and constructing aspects. Okay, it is not a old version, actually it is a new software engineering paradigm. Now we are going to develop one project. Customer will request or will give whatever he needs into that project. Okay, and also for some points he specially insisted some points. He specially requested for something on that particular project. Okay, develop this project within this budget only. Okay, or otherwise develop this one by providing more security, or otherwise like that he will give some personal, some important aspects to develop that project, guidelines or suggestions towards that project, isn't it? Coming to the second point, as modern computer based systems become more sophisticated, certain concerns, that is customer required properties areas. Okay, so this is about, we have already discussed customer required properties or areas of technical interest span or entire architecture. So he may be have some technical knowledge, so he may ask, please develop my project in Java by using Java only. He may request it for some language also, please develop my project by using Python itself, like that. Okay, he gives some special required properties, some special properties or special for some special requests. Okay, so what are those? We'll see a little what are the requirements he needs. Okay, some concern high level property systems, those are securities and fault tolerance. He may ask about, okay, he may be asked about your technical interest, which means please develop my project by using Python language or C language or CPP or Java, like that. That is technical interest. Second one is he'll ask about a more security. or he'll ask about if faults are maybe occurred. Okay, faults free, I want to my project faults free. I won't get I won't entertain a small kind of fault is, and also I'm not interested to bear such kind of faults into my system itself. It's completely faults free. So like that. And not only those, here we are having some other. See, those are, it may be a the application of business rules. Okay, he may request for some business rules of that project, and also he may request for some task synchronization or memory management. He'll ask for, okay, my system needs more memory, so how to manage that one. Okay, how to store the data by compress the data into my software. Like that, he will ask for some other okay, memory management things. You have learned this memory management things in OS, operating systems subject. Okay, or task synchronization, which means tasks means jobs or works, whichever if he is working with that, and multiple tasks are running on, how to synchronize those two tasks. So like that, he may ask for other purposes. And coming to this point, when concerns cut across multiple systems, functions, features, information, and they are referred to as cross-cutting concerns. Okay, so aspectual requirements define those cross-cutting concerns. Cross-cutting concerns in the sense some functions or some features, some information may be decreased because of his requests. Okay, decreased because of his request, or to develop such a project based on some budget. Clear? So this is about cross-cutting concerns. This process will adapt characteristics of both the spiral and the concurrent process models. So which project, okay, will be this kind of aspect oriented. Okay, if you want to develop aspect oriented rules to your development, so those will be okay worked with either spiral model or a concurrent process model. Spiral model means already we have discussed. Okay, concurrent process model means parallel process models. Concurrent process model means parallel process model. So the activities are executed in parallel in nature. So such kind of projects are called okay concurrent process, parallel nature of concurrent development. Okay, so by using spiral models we can apply this one, or otherwise you can using parallel models, or otherwise concurrent process models. We can apply this kind of aspect oriented projects, isn't it? Okay, this is about third kind of specialized process model. Third kind of specialized model means it is purely based on a okay requests or okay some special orders from a customer. By based on some special requests or some special orders of a customer, we are going to develop a project. Okay, na the special if you want to implement this project, you can choose either parallel process model or otherwise spiral model. Clear? So this is about today's class.